look for overall trade performance in 2024. Malaysia achieved its highest trade value in history. The total trade for the year was RM 2.879 trillion, which is a growth of 9.2% compared to 2023. From the total, export to RM 1.508 trillion, which increased by 5.7%. Imports were RM 1.371 trillion, which went up by 13.2%. Even though imports grew more than export, Malaysia still recorded a trade surplus of RM 136.88 billion. This means Malaysia had more export than imports, and it was the 27th year in a row that we had a trade surplus since 1998. Move on to Malaysia top export products. The biggest export in 2024 was electrical and electronic products, which total RM 601.18 billion. This is 39.9% of all exports. These products include things like computer parts, integrated circuits, and other electronic items. The second largest export was petroleum products, worth RM 127.37 billion, but this amount dropped by 11.2% compared to 2023. Why did petroleum export drop in 2024? It is because global prices for petroleum went down in 2024. The third major export was palm oil and palm oil-based agricultural products, which increased by 11.7% to RM 79.22 billion. This shows that Malaysia depends a lot on good technology products and natural resources for exports. What about major import products in 2024? For import, Malaysia mostly brought in products that support industry and production. The biggest import was E&E product worth RM 455.68 billion, which increased by 28%. It's because Malaysia, known as major manufacturing hub for electronics, especially for semiconductors, computer parts, and electrical goods. Second was machinery equipment and parts, was RM 113.72 billion with a growth of 27.5%. This is because of our factories and industries like electronics, automotive, and medical tech need modern machines to keep operating efficiently. Third was chemicals and chemical products, worth RM 104.14 billion. Malaysia import chemicals and chemical products because they are used in many different sectors, such as in agriculture and palm oil. Chemicals are used for refining and processing. This means Malaysia is importing many raw material and components, especially for manufacturing and technology sectors. Now, let's look at where Malaysia sends our export. The top 5 export destinations in 2024 were Singapore, the United States, China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. It is interesting to see that Taiwan became Malaysia's fourth largest export market, growing by 54.4%. This was mostly because high demand for electronics and machines. Export to the USA also increased strongly, especially in the tech industry. Malaysia also imports many items from other countries. The top import source in 2024 was China with RM 296.45 billion worth of imports. Then comes Singapore with RM 165.36 billion and the United States with RM 126.26 billion. Taiwan also supplied RM 109.12 billion worth of goods. This shows that most of our imports come from Asian countries and the US, especially for electronic and machinery. Now, let's look at some reasons behind the trade performance in 2024. Firstly, there is a strong global demand, especially for electrical and electronic products like computers, medical devices, and chips. These products are high in value and have strong export markets like the USA, Taiwan, and Singapore. Secondly, Malaysia used free trade agreement FTAs to increase export to countries like Canada, Mexico, and Turkey. These agreements made it easier for Malaysian products to enter new markets with lower tariff. Third, Malaysia diversified its exports. We increased export to new and emerging markets like Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, and Oman. This strategy helped reduce our dependence on traditional markets. Lastly, the price of palm oil increased, and this helped our agriculture export grow as well. The government also played a big role in supporting trade. Through the MITI and MATRED, the government introduced several important strategies. Firstly, the 12th Malaysian Plan. The 12th Malaysian Plan is a national development plan for the period 2021 to 2025. It includes many economic targets, and one of them is to increase Malaysia's total export to RM 1.73 trillion by 2025. 2. The National Trade Blueprint. To make Malaysia more competitive in global trade, this blueprint helps export by reducing trade barriers, improving logistics and infrastructure, and encouraging digital trade and innovation. 3. The New Industrial Master Plan 2030. The NIMP 2030 is Malaysia's strategy to become a high-tech, sustainable, and inclusive economy by the year 2030. This plan focuses on advanced technologies such as semiconductors, automation, and green technology. In the other hand, it is supporting industries that produce high value and sustainable products. With that, government has played an active and smart role in supporting external trade. Through long-term planning and strategies frameworks, Malaysia is becoming more prepared for future economic challenges and opportunities. Firstly, momentum from 2024 will continue. 2024 was a record-breaking year for Malaysian trade with high exports in electrical and electronic products, machinery, and palm oil. In 2025, we can assume that global demand for technology will remain strong, especially with the rise of AI, automation, and digitalization. Malaysia manufacturing sector is already well established and should continue supplying high-value products. 2. Factories and industries are expanding. In 2024, Malaysia imported a lot of machinery and intermediate goods. This shows that businesses were investing in production capacity. It's logical to expect that those machines and equipment will be fully used in 2025. As a result, production will increase and so will exports. 3. Trade agreements will create new opportunities. Malaysia is part of many free trade agreements (FTAs) such as RCEP, CPTPP, and bilateral agreement with countries like Japan, Australia, and India. This agreement make it easier to cheaper to export goods to partner countries. Now, I would like to share some recommendations to help Malaysia maintain and improve our trade performance in year 2025. First, Malaysia should continue to strengthen the expand digital trade platform. In today's world, many international buyers and sellers connect through online platforms. To support this, the government can develop more digital tools for exports, such as business to business, e-commerce, virtual trade fairs, and online trade direction. This will help especially small and medium enterprises to reach more international markets and reduce their costs. Second, we should focus more on exporting high-value and sustainable products. Malaysia has the potential to lead in advanced technologies sectors such as semiconductors, medical devices, and automation systems. We should also explore exporting green technology such as solar panel, components, or electronic vehicle parts. This will help Malaysia meet the increasing global demand for sustainable and innovative products while also earning better export value. Lastly, Malaysia should continue diversifying our export market. Right now, we export a lot to big countries like China, the USA, and Singapore. But to reduce our dependence on just a few markets, we should strengthen our trade with emerging countries such as Nigeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Latin America. By having more export destinations, Malaysia can be more stable even if one major market slows down.